Okay, we're back. You've got Richard Q. Zimmerman on Organic Radio. Everybody already knows us for doing these holistic health, naturopathic health venues that really provide the wherewithal for more or less an education. A lot of folks have never had a chance to hear anything from folks such as this. This is a professional industry, and when they do these interviews, they really they expound on what they do, which kind of enlightens us in a way about these services, and we know they exist, and somehow they can help us in some naturopathic way. And this is what we're doing here again tonight. Gayle Erickson, she's one of my favorite people here. She heads up a company called BioFeedback Plus, and I have her back again here tonight. So, Gayle, I want to say top of the evening to you. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Richard.
You know, the last interview we kind of did like a little warm and fuzzy introduction because we have the gamut of these talk shows to do together, and I really look forward to when they do come. So, but always co-reliant on the kind of questions that my clients have, because this is how, as a radio interviewer, I learn. So, but yours fascinating because the questions you send really are high grade. So I'm going to open up the show today by saying, more or less asking, if a person has never heard of biofeedback, Gayle, how do you interest them in doing a session?
Well, I normally offer them a health analysis because normally people know their areas of weaknesses. So when they see those things showing up on the computer during the analysis, it gives them confidence in the life system. The life system is the biofeedback device I use, and then normally causes them to feel confident that the therapy would be just as well, and so they'll schedule a successive body balancing session with me.
That's really interesting. I'm gonna I guess try to walk us through each of the items that the health analysis would include. So, and I've got a few things. I've got actually 6 items on my list. I want to ask you the first one. Let's talk about organs.
During the health analysis, it shows up areas that they have the weaknesses in. So the first test on the health analysis that I do is the organ imbalance. And so it utilizes rife frequencies and is able to test the organs out as far as their imbalances. So all of the different, like pineal, pituitary, the lungs, liver, etc., and then it just shows the weaknesses. And once again, they normally know what they have a little bit of a weakness in, and so when that shows up, then it impresses them.
That's really unique, actually, how you come about with those stats and how it helps us in our health because of these mechanisms. Let's talk about susceptibilities. Let's go there.
Well, from that word, they can tell that these are not issues that they have. It's merely pointing out things that they're more susceptible to having or more prone to having later in life, given our DNA hereditary factors, the foods we eat, the exercise we get, the stress we're under, and where you can be more prone or more susceptible to having certain issues than others. And so it kind of gives people a heads up as far as what they might be facing later in life. So it measures anything from the pH imbalance, allergy sensitivity, digestive, emotional stability, hormonal, etc.
Okay, throughout the years, we've always heard about detox and the different methods of detoxing. And, for a variety of different substances for whatever reasons, even just a general detox. But let's talk about, under this analysis, let's talk about detox, please.
Okay. There's 2 different panels on the detox that I do in the health analysis. The first one is called environmental toxins, so it will measure them on anything from mercury amalgams that we have in our mouth to chlorine. We can actually assimilate 8 to 20 cups of chlorinated water through our pores every time we take a shower in the morning. So the longer we're in the shower, the more we're assimilating. It will measure heavy metals, radiation from computer screens, cell phones, microwave ovens, etc., how sensitive their skin is to cosmetics or fluoride. And then the second panel, it will give them numbers on a scale of 0 to 100 as far as how sensitive their bodies are to caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, how lactose intolerant they are, how gluten sensitive they are, if pork or beef are a stressor. So I always stress with people on this equipment that I'm not a doctor and I'm not able to diagnose anything, that these are just bringing up their imbalances, their weaknesses.
That's really very interesting. Let's go to ADD, okay?
A lot of the children that I work with, that's why their parents are bringing them in for either autism, Asperger's, ADD, ADHD. And so this is one, when I go to the Autism Expo, that parents really like to see. Attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder on the brain panel, then I test them out on a scale of 0 to 100, and 0 to 50 is normal. So it's kind of a curiosity to people to see if they do have it or not, or the imbalance of it.
You know, we always talk about hormones, Gayle, and how they affect the biochemistry of the body, and they can be pretty nightmarish to some people. So let's go to hormones.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people do have hormonal imbalances, so they'll wake up with night sweats or, have other issues. And so it tests them out on different things like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, dopamine. Oxytocin is kind of a cool one that I've had good experience with. I actually helped a rancher in Montana with one of his horses. They had owned it for about 8 years, and the horse wouldn't have anything to do with them. It would stay clear across the corral. And so I ran oxytocin, the bonding hormone, into a bottle of minerals, and then the rancher would give it to his horse in the morning and in the evening. And that horse now sleeps under their bedroom window.
That's amazing. That really, I'm amazed by that, and how it. I guess it could be that also bonding is part of the process too. Maybe you also have a way, besides the scientific chemistry behind all this, that animals perceive that kind of health treatment, because actually animals can, and it's kind of a two-way street. I mean, if you notice that animals can also lower a person's blood pressure too. So there is an energy thing between, I think, human beings and animals, and I think that's a good point about hormones also. Now let's take a jump in the other direction. Let's talk about vitamins per se.
Well, on that one, it just tests out as far as their sensitivity to vitamins. It will send the actual frequency of the vitamin into their body, and then depending on the rating scale, then the person can tell if they're in the normal area or if they're out of balance. And then we can actually put the supplements on the tray, and it will say on a scale of 0 to 100 how beneficial that specific brand, that specific formulation would be for them. And so it takes the guesswork out of what would be beneficial.
Okay. Gayle, with all the things that you've answered, okay, let's go here. How does the system test for these substances?
Well, the Life System is a biomodulator, and it's able to test the body on 7,000 pre-programmed items in the device. So the bandwidth of each of those are stored in it. Our body, each cell, is programmed to continuously receive and interpret information through electromagnetic signals. And so it uses computerized biofeedback to measure that. And so the imbalances indicate areas of stress, and that can be stress from anything from allergens, toxicities, heavy metals, pathogens, etc., through the galvanic skin response.
It's amazing that all that can be analyzed like that. How does the system attach and let's say communicate to the client?
Well, the device has software and interface module, and then 4 straps for the ankles and the wrists. So the module is actually plugged into the computer, and then the straps are wrapped around their ankles and their wrist, and then there's a pad that goes behind the back. and they communicate with 54 different electrical pathways that run through your body. And of course, you can always get into really scientific words like voltage, amperage, inductance, capacitance, all of those big things that might interest a scientist or something. But for the average layperson, I always like to use the example of the liver. There's only one bandwidth of frequency for a healthy liver, whether you're a cat, dog, or a human. And so by using the computer, it'll send the frequency of a healthy liver into your liver, and then it uses the computer as a counter to assess the potential disharmonies to see if your liver is being affected by the toxins, nutritional deficiencies, stress, inflammation, etc. And then it will feed back the information to train your brain to bring strength and balance back into these areas.
Okay, Gayle, can biofeedback help me reduce my intake of medications?
Yes, it has for many, many people. I always let people know that since I'm not a doctor, that they'll need to let their doctor know that they are doing biofeedback, because it's very well recognized that biofeedback lowers stress in the body, and then that eliminates a lot of the negative side effects. And most patients are wanting to try to get off of or lower their dosages, and so they do let their doctors know. And I've had many doctors actually wean my clients off of the meds, and so that lowers their dosages and the negative side effects as well.
Well, you know, Gayle, you might as well be a doctor, because with all the testimonials and people just jumping for joy about their health, their newfound health, it seems to me like you're doing something very right. What happens during an actual biofeedback session that makes this work for people?
Let's see. First, we'll have you kick your shoes off. We'll lay you back in a recliner and put soft music on and de-stress your body. So I think you should just come give it a try sometime. After all, Seattle's only 3-4 hours away from us.
You know, one of these days I'm going to take my car and I'm coming up to meet you. And I'm going to try this myself and see what it does for me. But I am convinced via your testimonials. Oh, yeah, by the way, folks, she's got a wonderful page here on Organic Radio, which you'll keep up, you know, with all these interviews we're doing. But you'll also hear testimonial right from the horse's mouth, how these people are feeling before and after. So I really love that. Well, Gayle, you know, as usual, I want to say thank you, you know, for letting me have this opportunity to be with you, you know, and do these talk shows. So I guess I'll look forward to the next subsequent talk show we're going to have together, huh?
Sounds good.
Okay, any last comment you'd like to make before we get off?
Can I tell one other horse experience just because it brought it to mind?
Not only that, I just remembered something else. Contact information when you're done with that so people know how to get a hold of you, okay?
Okay, sounds good. That same rancher actually ended up bringing 4 horses into me, and it was kind of a cool story because he had had epileptic seizures all of his life. He was 74 years old, and after doing the biofeedback sessions, then he had no more seizures, and so it gave him the confidence in the equipment, so he started having me do his horses. And the first horse's name was Daxie, and she was a little filly, and she would colic every 3 months like clockwork. And then the second horse was Barfly Dandy, and that was the one I just told you about that wouldn't have anything to do with its owners. And then the third horse's name was AJ, and I forget the fourth horse. But anyway, Daxie was the first horse that they did, and they'd always yell out, "Daxie, you want your stuff?" And she'd come a-running to get her. They would put the minerals on top of a little bowl of oats. And so anyway, by the time that they were doing all 4 horses, then they had 4 bowls of oats with the minerals, with the frequencies on top of it. And so she stuck her nose in the first bowl, didn't take a bite. Second bowl, didn't take a bite. Third bowl, didn't take a bite. Fourth bowl, just gobbled it all down, because horses or animals are very in tune with frequencies. So anyway, the owner's wife called me up, and she was so excited. She was just like, "You'll never believe it. Daxie knew which bowl was programmed with her frequencies." And so anyway, it just proved to her, you know, how well it actually did work, that even the animal is sensitive as far as which one it needed.
That's amazing. And, you know, and when you talk about progress and of course these kind of fine results, it acclimates itself to the science of biofeedback, and I'm always amazed by the stories you tell, and but I know they're factual, and these are results just as the testimonials. These are factual, so this is very, very interesting. Okay, Gayle, do me a favor. Let's get the website contact info if people have a question for you, all right, or they want to check you out a little more. How do they go about doing that?
Well, on the website, it's listed as Revitalize, REVITALIZE, organicstore.com. And then they can just click on the Health Spa tab, and then that will take them to all of our spa therapies, and then they can scroll down to Life System, and then that's the biofeedback one. And then we also have a handheld biofeedback device, which will be one of the very first ones listed. It's called Navasia. But anyway, or they could give us a call. My phone number is 509-586-6574. And we're in Kennewick, Washington, so we have people coming. I've actually had people fly from Seattle for their therapies to me because they said Seattle doesn't offer what I do. And then we have come up from Oregon as well. So we're at 311 West Kennewick Avenue in Kennewick.
Okay, I love it. And it's so easy to really, this is something that you don't have to sell people because it's all based on results. And they speak for themselves. So, and I think that's where progress is made every day when you get these kind of results. So anyway, Gayle, I want to say top of the evening, because we're doing this in the evening. I want to say top of the evening to you, and I guess I'll catch you again on the go-around, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, folks, that pretty much wraps it up, okay? Gayle Erickson, Biofeedback Plus. Check them out. We're going to go to a quick break. You got Richard quick break. Say it again. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. You got Richard Q. Zimmerman, and I'll be back in a pinch, so stay tuned.